No, you run towards the fire. You go towards it. Somebody chooses you. You let them know what time it is and then some so that they never choose you again.
He said it kind of jokingly, but who's joking really? I don't know. He was like, we almost need some of the Asian gangs back.
Will and myself, we grew up in LES in Lower East Side Manhattan. You know, we grew up with very diverse, and diverse like communities. So we got the brunt of like, racist remarks and we understand like sometimes you have to fight back because these are bullies essentially at the end of the day, right? And what happens when you don't stand up to bullies? They continue to attack you.
Lucky Boys Podcast.
I guess my question is going back to that scenario that I had raised, is the function more of a double standard, or is it more of a function of, is it our own Asian community's fault in the way we respond to things? In my opinion, if I were to attack a elderly black lady, for example, I would be beaten down on the spot, or shot on the spot. And if not there, I would be found and beaten down very soon after that. By who, I'm not going to get into. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you try to walk into black community and attack a black lady, I think.
I would. And is that and
not only
that
black,
might be a testament to how.
Let's say you go to Little Italy, you try to hit a 75-year-old Italian lady.
All the
Italians are coming out to knocking you out.
Oh, you'll get and is that more of a testament to how strongly responsive the other cultures are? Or is it more of a function of our Asian community is more passive and doesn't respond that way? And us, the Asian community, not responding, I guess, eye for an eye. Yes, some people, and I don't know enough to know an opinion. I don't know people. Are they going to say, oh, it's because Asians are calm and they deal with things with more peace? Or is it because they're the weak, passive ones that are afraid to fight back?
I think this goes back to what you were talking about earlier, is that there's going to be some Asians like the Kim Jongs that identify with that, and like your father, and there's going to be different Asians that identify with more people like you who are fit, fashion conscious, concerned with modern pop culture and building brands that they want to represent towards a shift in the culture, and they're in a change that they're being the change that they want to see, because they feel like the ways of the old representation are inaccurate. So we're still in between those two worlds, and we're learning. Even though we're Asians, we're very different. And within, I mean, it's so broad too when you say Asian, like which Asian? Are you talking about Cambodian, Vietnamese, Chinese? Because I'll tell you what, you do that in a Cambodian neighborhood. So let's just stay within our wheelhouse. You did that in a predominantly Chinese area. I think it's exactly that. I think it's a mix. It depends on who you do it around. If you do it around, let's say, just like the one we saw on the video on Bayard Street, right? Where that guy punched the 59-year-old lady, 55-year-old.
And those two guys were just sitting there
watching, because they're from a different.
Do you think it's their culture, or do you think it's a matter of just?
It's a cultural thing, because look, it's their parents raised them and said, hey, and I've seen parents do that. Mind your own business. Mm-hmm. If someone gets attacked, even if it's your friends. Yep. You run. Yep. You run. You get away from the trouble and the danger ASAP. You go opposite direction. I don't care if it's your friend, this and that. You bounce. And then I have the other side of my Asian friends where they go, no, you run towards the fire. You go towards it. Somebody chooses you. You let them know what time it is and then some, so that they never choose you again. So I've been on both sides of those conversations. I have friends that go, I'm sorry, but if you're in a fight, I'm going that way.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of
both. They're like, I'll let you know right now. If something goes down,
cultural,
I'm out. And I have other friends that go, hey, if something going down, we all in this. Let's we're going to give them hell.
And yeah, I mean, Will and myself, we grew up in LES in Lower East Side Manhattan. We grew up with very diverse, and diverse like communities. So we got the brunt of like, racist remarks, and we understand like sometimes you have to fight back because these are bullies essentially at the end of the day, right? And what happens when you don't stand up to bullies? They continue to attack you.
Yeah, I think that's it could be a never-ending conversation. It's the response is everything.
Yeah.
You know, my personal opinion is, I think Will brought up a good point. If I were to attack an elderly Italian lady, I'm gonna get beat down by a bunch of Italian people.
It's not gonna look good, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna get beat down by a lot of Italian people. And I'm just throwing out hypothetical questions. I don't know the answer. Are some of these bullies attacking the Asian elderly because they know that nothing physically, the Asian community physically is not going to do anything to them. I had a friend. I mean, he said it kind of jokingly, but who's joking really? I don't know. He was like, we almost need some of the Asian gangs back in Manhattan.
I mean, we posed that exact same question.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, back in the day, who was protecting the Chinese community or Asian communities? It was people that were grouped together, Asian gangs, but they also exploited the Asian communities as well. So, but they also protected them from outside forces. There isn't one answer, but we do know that, that something needs to be done. And people who are attacking the Asian community, they probably look at it as these are easy targets, right? And easy targets to exploit, to attack, and nothing's probably going to happen, right? But I feel like that's changing. And I think it's sad to say, but some things like this needed to happen for people in our community to kind of get off their asses. And we never really had it that good. We had to actually question: Are we really in a privileged position in the U.S.? Probably not.
I think some of the Asian privilege has been and I think it's a function of a lot of the hard work from our previous generations. Yeah. Is I feel a lot of the culture has been, as long as your business is going well and you have the right education, we just don't worry about what's going on around. Right. And now all of a sudden, the outside forces are affecting our community, and we're almost not sure whether to deal with it with fire or peace or whatever. So, I think. And some of the things you said is right. Is we've had the privilege of just being in our own lane almost.
Yeah, we were stuck in that bubble. Asians were stuck in a bubble.
And there's racist Asian people out there too, and that's really fucked up.
Totally agree with that. Yeah.
But I'll still go back to I think we continue to be attacked because nobody's afraid that they're going to get any retaliation in any form, so that's why. It goes back to nobody expected anybody to say anything or to create such a huge rally. Right. That was the start. Yeah. I always work on myself. I try not to fight fire with fire anymore because hasn't always been the right choice.
But you want to prepare yourself for anything that might happen.
I've even learned today in this conversation with two new friends I have here. It's not one glove fits all. There's different forms of kindness. There's different forms of racism. There's different forms of violence. And unfortunately, it's never going to be one glove fits all. We hope for one. It's just people's. I think that'll take a long time for that to change. I just wonder for the future of the Asian community, because this will continue for as long as there's no consequence. And I think Norm, you both brought up a good point. Is the justice system, is that being fair? I had alluded to, does the punishment fit the crime?